Hi, and welcome to part one of a four-part series on the Declaration of Independence. My name is Rain Gilstrom, and I'm your host. The title of this four-part series is as follows: with the certain endowment fund of our inalienable rights, those being life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, comes the ultimate, and that is duty. What we're going to be doing in this four-part series is reviewing the often overlooked tenets of the Preamble to the Declaration of Independence. I'll start the part one series by, of course, reading the Preamble to our U.S. Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. The United States of America is in trouble not only constitutionally, but morally, and for good reason. The purpose of my four-part series here that I'm introducing to you in part one is to appeal to the American public that I think it's more important that we re-embrace the ideas of the Declaration of Independence and set that as priority number one, rather than organizing ourselves to the hilt to try and get back to constitutionally limited government. Not that I'm not trying to diminish the idea of our U.S. Constitution whatsoever. I'm just trying to make a point that unless we pursue and re-embrace the idea that's noted in the Declaration of Independence's preamble, that we will never get back to constitutionally limited government. It's because we had the Declaration of Independence that we've gotten the constitutional law and the Bill of Rights that we've got, because the law's purpose is to secure where the rights actually come from, God, which is noted in our Declaration of Independence. So that is the reason why we are reviewing what is often overlooked, the tenets of the Preamble to our Declaration of Independence. So what I'm going to do is, in this four-part series, there's three primary sentences in the Preamble, the first three sentences, and I want to just focus on what we read and break those three sentences down over this four-part series. So I appreciate your attention in this. I hope that you will understand my appeal and the purpose of it. Again, the first sentence of the Preamble reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed, and whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." Most people want what God grants to all men, whether they believe in God or whether they believe God. And there is a distinct difference whether The one who believes in God believes that God exists. Doesn't necessarily mean that he believes what God said. But most of all, what free men and women want, especially in this country, is to have the security in knowing that, number one, all men are created equal. And number two is that all men are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Those being basically understood as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I just want to emphasize basically understood. If we, the people of the United States of America, believe in the ideas of being united, thinking that we well understand what Americanism is all about, and the republic of law that we really are, as established by our founding fathers, then how is it that we are so dangerously standing where we are at this point in history, teetering on the very precipice of losing it all entirely? Well, I believe that I have some answers. I believe that it is because we have missed the greater emphasis of what is written in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence. And this primary point, that being created equal comes with an equal endowment from God, our Creator. God being the foundation of our nation's beliefs and the provider of our very lives, recognized as the provider of our security, our liberties, and our happiness, and very importantly also our system of justice. This here is nothing less than our national philosophy and our national identity. A scripture reference in Galatians 4 says something interesting. Galatians 4, 1 and 2, I feel it's important for me to take the liberty to bring in some scripture references here, since our nation is founded on the principles of biblical history. Galatians 4, 1 and 2 says the following, "Now I say, as long as the heir is a child, he does not differ at all from a slave, although he is owner of everything. But he is under guardians and managers until a time set by the father." And this is a basic premise of parenthood, the relationship between the father and mother and their children. They are the guardians that are noted there in Galatians 4. We have a little war going on for that guardianship. Question for you fathers out there, who are the leaders of your home. Who are you going to allow to be that guardian and manager of your children? As fathers, God has assigned us the role to know exactly when our children become more accountable to God than to us. But government has done a very good job over the last 75 years of posturing itself as the parent. There's a Latin term that you can Google, parens patriae, spelled P-A-R-E-N-S, P-A-T-R-E-A-E, I think. You can Google at least that much and get the definition comes up on, or get some information on it from Google. But you find that to be the fatherhood of the state is what it's going to be noted as. But being a citizen and or an elected official to public service of this great country is usually predicated at some point in our lives with a pledge of allegiance. And if you're so lucky to have the opportunity to serve as an elected legislator or city official, county official, or state legislator, or even at higher levels, you get the opportunity to take an oath to office. But both citizen and elected official have a duty to defend both the tenets of the Declaration of Independence and not just the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But both to know this and pledge this as a citizen and to oath to do this as an elected leader should be the epitome of protecting our national philosophy, should be seen as that, and the preeminent reason for us in the United States to provide the best of national security.